Welcome back to the Urban Review. Listen to the stories that made headlines in Santa Barbara. Going back to last Sunday, fighting the spring fire proved dangerous for one firefighter who slipped in the rugged terrain and had to be rescued. Fellow firefighters carried him out and was transported to the hospital in Thousand Oaks. He is expected to be okay. 3 other firefighters suffered minor injuries from flying debris and ash on Sunday.
On Monday, the Santa Barbara waterfront is getting 2 new lunch ramps. Work is underway to tear out an old boat ramp that dates back to the 1960s. Some improvements have been made recently, but when this final phase is done, it should be a busy area. A $350,000 grant from the State Department of Boating and Waterways helped pay for the work. The ramps should be ready for use by the middle of next month.
A man shooting gophers with a BB gun caused quite the scare near downtown Santa Barbara Monday night. Residents called police saying a man with a shotgun was walking around the area of Cannon Perdido and Bath Street. Officers moved in, blocked off the streets, and they eventually found the man. He explained what he was doing, and police let him go. Streets reopened about 9 p.m. The man was not cited or arrested. No one was hurt.
And 2 people, a man and a woman, survived a terrifying rollover crash along Highway 154. It happened about 8:30 Monday morning. They were heading east on San Marcos Pass just west of Santa Barbara when their Mitsubishi Montero veered off the road and rolled 200 feet down a steep embankment. The CHP says wet roads and speeds were factors in the crash. Both people were taken to a hospital with moderate injuries. And now to Tuesday. 15 Oxnard farm workers who were fired for walking off the job as the Springs fire raged nearby have been offered their jobs back. KNBC reported the owner offered to rehire the workers after pressure from the media. The workers said they had to make a choice between their job or their health, and they decided to leave the fields and seek shelter indoors. When they returned to work the next day at Chrysalida Farms in Oxnard, they found out that they've all been fired. The United Farm Workers Union stepped in, even though none of the laborers were union members. Most of the workers say they found new jobs instead.
The Walt Disney Company wants to trademark the words Day of the Dead for a future film, but just the idea is upsetting members of the Latino community. Dia de los Muertos is a holiday celebrated by millions in Mexico and Central America on November 1st and 2nd. The holiday brings families together to pray and celebrate the lives of loved ones who have passed away. The untitled Pixar movie about Dia de los Muertos will hit theaters in 2015, and since this incident, Disney has decided to not trademark the phrase.
Someone stole the stage equipment for an upcoming show at the Lobero Theater in Santa Barbara. Workers were unloading steel deck platforms behind the theater yesterday, but when they turned their backs for a few minutes, the platforms were gone. Workers say the thieves even used their dolly to commit the crime. The platforms were, for the show, unfinished business, but the show will go on.
On Wednesday, the woman who once said no jury would ever convict her is now fighting for her life. A Phoenix jury convicted former Santa Maria resident Jodi Arias of first-degree murder in the death of her ex-boyfriend. If sentenced to death, Jodi Arias will be the 3rd woman on Arizona's death row.
Also on Wednesday, a local mother and son learned they'll spend the rest of their lives in prison. Rhonda Wisto and her son Jacob York both got life without parole for their roles in the brutal 2010 murder of 15-year-old Destiny Myers. For the first time, Destiny's mother spoke directly to those convicted of killing her daughter. Destiny's grandmother says she does forgive the people who killed the teenager, but the family will always be in mourning. The convicted mother and son now have 60 days if they want to appeal their life sentences.
A dog is home safe after falling and getting stuck on the side of a cliff at the Douglas Family Preserve in Santa Barbara. Emergency crews were called to the area just after 6:30 in the evening. By the time they arrived, a Good Samaritan had already come to the dog's rescue. Javar Martin says he was down at the beach getting ready for a run when he heard the dog yelping. That's when he climbed up the steep cliff to help. The dog was a little shaken up, and Martin said he was a little scraped up, but otherwise both were okay.
In Isla Vista on Thursday, a woman was robbed outside her apartment on Abrego Road in broad daylight. It happened just after 1:30 on Thursday as the victim was walking home and talking on her cell phone. The sheriff's department conducted a massive manhunt, but the suspect got away. Officials say this kind of brazen crime crime is on the rise. The Isla Vista Foot Patrol warns residents to be aware of their surroundings and walk in pairs whenever possible.
And a quick look in Oxnard, a high school resource officer is on paid administrative leave. Officer Jason Rodriguez patrolled Pacifica High School. Police said they're investigating recent accusations of inappropriate conduct with students. The 28-year-old officer has not been arrested, but the department is investigating the allegations.
Back to Santa Barbara. On Friday, fire investigators are still trying to figure out what exactly started a restaurant fire at Jill's Place. They do know it started in the kitchen area near a sink. The first crews arrived about 4 in the morning when smoke and flames were seen in the kitchen. They were able to keep the major damage confined to that area. The Shellhoop family owns the building, which has been here as a meat company, a deli, and a restaurant since the 1970s. They say it's fortunate the structure is still standing. By midday, many of the damaged items were pulled from the kitchen. Work was taking place to secure the building until a repair plan could be put together. They plan to reopen soon.
A bomb threat closed half a dozen businesses, including Vons and CVS, and put San Marcos School on lockdown Friday morning. A 16-year-old suspect is in custody. It started about 8:30 in the morning when Santa Barbara County Sheriff officers received a call from authorities in Clyde Hill Police in Washington, requesting assistance to help locate a missing at-risk juvenile who had ties in Santa Barbara. Local deputies tracked the teen down near an SUV in the parking lot at the corner of Turnpike and Hollister and started to take the boy into custody when he informed officers there were explosives in his car. Once the bomb squad arrived, a specialist in protective gear made his way to the Honda Pilot and combed for explosives. Witnesses spotted what appeared to be grenades and a handgun pulled from the vehicle. Sheriff's officials categorized them as simulated and said the weapon was a modified airsoft gun. The case has been sent to the district attorney's office.
And finally, tech workers from Goleta-based Citrix Online spent part of the day in the orchards of Toro Canyon. Friday was the company's Global Day of Impact. The workers chose to help with a blood orange harvest on land where the owner has a large surplus. Hundreds of pounds of oranges were hauled out and donated to the Santa Barbara County Food Bank. The food bank has a backyard bounty program and encourages landowners with surplus fruit to donate it to those in need. If you want to get your coworkers or friends together to pick fruit, please contact the food bank and they will put you to work. Alright, so today is Mother's Day. Claire, what are you going to do for your mom?
My mom does not live in Santa Barbara, so I sent my mom a special Mother's Day card as well as a gift card to her favorite outdoor supply goods store. What are you going to do for Mother's Day, Oscar?
Alright, so get this. On Saturday, I went out and I purchased some perfume and a couple other little things like lip balm. And now the other thing is she likes Rusty's Pizza, and I gotta say, I mean, that's really good pizza there. So I'm planning on taking her out to get a slice of pizza, and that's gonna be like taste of heaven.
Sounds like a really great day and a special way to honor your mother for all that she did for you and does for you. Did you do anything special for Dia de las Madres on Friday?
Well, to me, all the holidays of the world bundled into one. So, I am doing Mother's Day today.
So you're not honoring your Latino heritage by celebrating on the appropriate day according to your culture?
Well, it seems like Disney is honoring them since they wanted to take over that phrase, Dia de los Muertos. I mean, what is up with that?
Well, I think they were just trying to copyright the title of their movie, but then they just didn't really realize that that title really means more than a movie. It's a culture and tradition.
So you got corporate bigwigs sitting there making a lot of money, and you're telling me they don't realize that this phrase shouldn't be copyrighted? I don't know. I find it really hard to believe that. For special events, we have the Wings of Freedom Tour. It's a rare opportunity to visit, explore, and learn more about the unique and rare bomber and fighter aircraft in honor of World War II veterans. This is on Monday, May 13 from noon to 5 at the Santa Barbara Airport.
The Natural Cafe is celebrating its 20th anniversary. On Monday, May 13th from noon to 8 p.m., the Natural Cafe on State Street will offer free food to anyone that attends.
And the 13th annual Dine Out for the Solstice. Laura Knight, owner of Pascucci's Cruz Italian restaurant turns over her business to Solstice for a night, donating all proceeds from foods, drinks, and tips. Wednesday, May 15, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Pascucci's on Lower State Street. The cost is free and all ages are welcome.
Get paid to recycle your old refrigerator or freezer. Receive up to $35 for donating your old fridge. On Saturday, May 18th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Santa Barbara. It's open and it's put on by the South County Energy Efficiency Partnership.
And take part in the Santa Barbara Arthritis Walk on Saturday, May 18 at 8 in the morning at the Santa Barbara City College West Campus. The cost is free and all ages are welcome. And that does it for our show today. Join us next weekend for another episode of
The Urban Review.
See ya.
Bye.